Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today. I really do hope that, and yes, shock horror, I am not in front of my green screen. I'm sitting in my office chair because today's video is a little bit different. That's right, we're going to be doing a reaction video to a video I made over a year ago, like 13 months ago or something, my Premier League predictions video, where every team will finish at the end of this campaign that's just finished. And it's pretty funny. Although I do like where I was going with a lot of these predictions, disclaimer, I was very unkind / cautious with Chelsea. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to react to each one and obviously we'll look at where the team actually did place. Quick shout out, please do subscribe to Football Therapy if you've not already done so. We're about to kiss 80,000 subscribers, so jump on the Football Therapy train. If you want to support me, please do drop a like on this video as well, and feel free to comment throughout down in the comment section. It's gonna be fun. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, remember this is a year ago, or over a year ago, so I'm a complete YouTuber noob. You could argue I still am, but you know, more so. Starting at 20th place, Brighton. Sorry Seagulls, but for me the whole reason, well, the biggest reason you stayed in the Premier League for so long these last couple of years was because of manager Chris Hughton, who is no more. That sounds morbid, he's not dead, he's just no longer with the club. So yeah, without Chris Hughton and without particular great amounts of quality in how the Premier League's looking more and more competitive, I see you guys finishing 20th. So yeah, clearly still funny making dumb jokes, but to be honest, the Chris Hughton angle's pretty solid. A lot of people were like, oh my god, they've sacked Chris Hughton. This might have been before they hired Graham Potter, who's obviously highly rated, but at this point, they sacked Chris Hughton. He seemed like the pragmatist that kept him in the Premier League. So I'm pretty happy with that prediction. Obviously, they stayed up, they finished 15th, and in 20th place it was Norwich. Let's move on. 19th, Newcastle United. Right, sorry Toon. For me, letting Rafael Benitez go is an absolute travesty. I mean, he worked miracles with that squad, and letting him go was the dumbest thing Mike Ashley could have done. So he basically took a mid-table championship squad and was doing great finishes in the Premier League. So without him, I think they will become a mid-table championship squad. Okay, so 19th place I had Newcastle United, and to be honest man, that was a sensible prediction. Getting rid of the big Spanish waiter seemed like the dumbest thing ever. They did have championship players, they ended up selling Jose Perez as well. You cannot critique me for saying they'll go down after that decision. I stand by it being a good decision. Of course, Newcastle ended up 13th, doing very, very well indeed. And in 19th, interestingly, was Watford, which I would have never seen coming. Let's move on. 18th place and the final relegation slot, Aston Villa. Okay, I feel bad for this, and Aston Villa did well to win the playoffs, and they went on an amazing run of form at the end of the season in the Championship last season. And although I think they've got a lot good going for them, and they'll keep their talisman Jack Grealish at the club, who is an incredibly good player with a lot of quality, it looks like they are losing Tammy Abraham, their top scorer from last season, because by all accounts he's being recalled to Chelsea. And I just think they might struggle and maybe just miss out in staying in the Premier League. Sorry guys. Okay, so I was pretty darn close with Aston Villa. I said 18th and they finished 17th, and my theory behind it was losing Tammy Abraham because he was coming to us, who scored loads and loads of goals for them, pretty much carried them into the Prem. Pretty solid prediction. Of course, Bournemouth ended up finishing 18th and they were just one place above. So pat on the back to me. Pat on the back for me. Let's just move on. 17th, Sheffield United. Alright, so Sheffield United should be happy to sort of maintain Premier League status. They got automatic promotion last season. They've got a good side, a sort of a good amount of experience there. And maybe if they had a couple of more players, they could stay in the Premier League. It's been a while since they dipped in, so, you know, I'm not going to say they get relegated, but I think they'll struggle. Finish 17th, and they should really be happy with that, to be honest. Alright, so the Blades at 17th. I thought I was being like relatively kind to them, but they had a bit of a Hollywood story, let's be real, finishing in 9th place. Probably should have finished a little bit higher considering the context of the season, but I had them staying up, so that's a bonus? No? Yeah, I couldn't have been more radically wrong here, but fair play, no one would have called that. Let's move on. Right, at 16th place, I've got Burnley. Sorry, Daishi, I just can't see you doing any better this year. Like I said, the quality in the league is a lot higher this season. Certainly it's going to be much more competitive. I don't necessarily think he'll be in a relegation battle straight away, but they might be flirting with that at certain points of the season, Burnley. He will go back to his sort of dogged, pragmatic football because he had to revert to that Sean Dyche. Even if they had a player or two, I see him staying in the Premier League, but I do see them struggling, and yeah, I can't see any more than a 16th place finish. Alright, so Burnley at 16th. Again, I don't think that's too much of a radical prediction in my opinion. Obviously, they ended up doing very well, finishing in the top half in 10th place. So I was 6 places off, and obviously at 16th in the Premier League finish this season was of course West Ham, massively underachieving. We'll get to them later. So sorry Burnley, but yeah, congratulations on 10th. Let's move on. 15th place, Norwich City. Norwich, champions of the Championship last season, were incredibly impressive. They racked up 94 points, and I feel that they could comfortably stay in the Premier League next season. I reckon, yeah, perform well. I'm really interested in seeing how Timo does in the Premier League and if he can bang a load of goals. I don't expect him to be relegated. I don't really expect him to be in a relegation scrap, but I can't see them doing any higher, so there you go. Comfortably stay in the Premier League next season, I said about Norwich City after winning the second division. Oh, I was very wrong. Not my biggest failure in terms of places. 5 places is quite a lot, but not as bad as like whatever I said about Sheffield. Comfortably staying in the Premier League because they play exciting football and they won the second division. No, I was wrong. They were dead at 20th on a minus 49 goal difference with 21 points, dude. Oh, Norwich. Let's move on. 14th, I've got Crystal Palace. Now, I know they've just lost Wan-Bissaka to Manchester United, but if Wibbly Wobbly Woy can keep Zaha at the club and keep his sort of clever, pragmatic football, I see them keeping Crystal Palace out of that sort of danger zone, but I can't see him doing anything particularly ambitious. Maybe a sort of cup run or something like that, but Hodgson's not particularly exciting, but that's what makes him good, and that's what makes him good for Palace, and that's what will keep him in the Premier League with them. I just absolutely nailed this one. 14th place, Crystal Palace. They finished 14th place. I talked about the loss of Aaron Wan-Bissaka to United. Of course it hurt them, but the pragmatic style of how I said wibbly wobbly woy kept him in it. This was like a straight up psychic prediction from your boy. Please give me kudos for that one. Let's move on. 13th place, I have Bournemouth. Yes, I am a big fan of Eddie Howe. I like how he plays sort of assertive, attacking football against teams that he has probably an inferior squad to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know he shadowed Sarri for a bit when Sarri was coaching Empoli, and he likes the possession attacking football. I think he'll be around mid-table, but like I said with some other teams, there's a lot of quality in the league this season, and he might come undone against the sort of solid, pragmatic teams as well as the super good possession attacking teams. So 13th place for Bournemouth, and I think they should generally be happy with that. Okay, Bournemouth, yeah, this was bad. Obviously, they just missed out on staying in the league on the last day. I had them at 13th, they ended up at 18th, probably should have been 17th, really, all things considered. So I got them quite a few wrong, but to be honest, I make no apologies for that prediction. Eddie Howe's an expansive manager. They did have good players. Remember Fraser, the season that I was like recording this, he just had an amazing season, like 1 assist under Eden Hazard. They were a free fall, man. They like lost 21 out of 25 or something at the end. So they should have stayed up, and to be honest, I have no regrets in that prediction. So in 13th place, in reality, it was of course Newcastle. So yeah. 12th place, I have Southampton, which is a sort of really good finishing position for them. See, I'm a big fan of Ralph Hasenhüttl. He arrived and he looks the business, man. It's kind of like that sort of Germanic, continental, really new age thinking coach, and you know what, he made Saints look really, really good when he came in and sort of slapped him about a little bit
with a full pre-season, him actually having a look at the players properly and implementing his style more, this man's getting a mid-table finish with a side that looked like they're relegation fodder for the last couple of seasons. So an incredibly good job by Ralph, and yeah.
Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this one as well, giving Southampton 12th when in fact they finished 11th. In real life, Everton finished 12th. So, pretty close with the Saints, and I still maintain absolutely everything I said about Ralph Hasenhüttl. This was over a year ago, I was saying this about him, saying he looks the business. And to be honest, man, this season's probably proves me right in terms of my feeling about him or my assumptions. So, yes, well done, Jan. Ding, ding, ding.
11th, Watford. Yep, Javi Gracia has been held in high regard this last season, even linked with the Chelsea job. How much truth there is in that, I don't know. But he is a good coach, and they've got a pretty good squad, Watford. Certainly a strong midfield. A couple of ageing players in there, Troy Deeney being one of them. But I think Delafeu is still knocking about and is going to stay there. They've got a good side.
Okay, I got this one wrong. Yeah, Watford did not finish 11th. Of course, Southampton did. I had them for 12th. But Watford finished 19th and they were awful. I talked about Javi Gracia being linked to Chelsea. That made me look good, although he had been linked to Chelsea and they got to the FA Cup final before they got battered. We did well for them. Things change quickly, man.
10th place, I have West Ham. Now, I hope Hammers don't feel hard done by him, because they've often had big ambitions with their investment. They've got good players and a good coach, and I'm a big fan personally of Phillipe Anderson.
Okay, 10th place, I had West Ham, and I said, Hammers might feel bad for this, because obviously they've got loads of good players like Yarmolenko, Phillipe Anderson, they've got loads of good attacking players. And to be honest, man, I think they had Pellegrini, didn't they? So they've hired a good manager as well. There's loads of reasons to think they would do well. So for me apologising to predicting they'll finish 10th when in fact they finished 16th, I don't feel so bad now at all. And of course Burnley finished 10th and had an amazing season. Let's move on.
Alright, so 9th place, I have Everton. Now some people might put them a couple of places higher, but Marco Silva finished the season strong, and he is a good coach, but I don't think he's this sort of second coming that everyone thinks he is.
Alright, in 9th place I had Everton, which is probably, they should have finished 9th or above. They finished in 12th, and of course Sheffield United finished in 9th. So they had an incredible season, not so much Everton. Obviously, Marco Silva was still at the helm. Ancelotti came in after they were flirting with relegation, saved them a little bit, so a lot happened there, man. And I did say Marco Silva is not the second coming. Turns out he wasn't the second coming. Let's move on.
So in 8th place, I have Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, at the end of last season, I was one of those people that were saying, oh, look out, next season Wolves could be knocking on the door for top 6 because they did so well. They're a pretty feel-good team. Everyone likes Nuno. They're an interesting counter-attacking team, but they're solid and they can score some great goals. They secured Jimenez on a permanent, and there's a lot of feel-good, but they got promoted last season and they had a wicked finish. So finishing 8th again, that's a really good achievement.
Alright, so number 8 I had Wolves, and again I make no apology for that. They finished 7th instead of 8th, so I think that's pretty darn close and pretty good. I talked about them securing Jimenez, which is huge. Of course, it turned out to continue being... Why can't I speak English? It is huge, basically. Signing Jimenez on a permanent, that was massive for them and has been massive for them ever since. There you go, the English has come back to my mouth. But of course, in reality, Wolves did not finish 8th, they finished 7th, and Arsenal finished 8th. Lol, 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 lol. Let's move on to a very painful moment in the video.
Here it is. I've put Chelsea Football Club at 7th. Now, I'm a Chelsea fan. This was difficult for me, but I had to be realistic. Frank Lampard's coming into a club where everyone generally wants him, as do I now, but he is inexperienced to a degree. He's going to have to still learn on the job. There is a transfer ban, and Chelsea have just lost a player who contributed to 49% of their Premier League goals last season. He's now in Real Madrid. If you look at all that together, you've got to be like, oh god. Hopefully I'm wrong, but 7th for Chelsea.
Alright, so I explained my case, and I, like many people who didn't give Chelsea much of a chance, showed my working, but it's not because I necessarily didn't believe in Chelsea so much. I just wanted to be precautious. I wanted to temper expectations. I didn't want to be like, we absolutely need to get into the top 4. It was more, let's give Frank time. It's probably not going to be a given, so let's be prepared for this. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm elated. Chelsea did not finish 7th. They finished 4th, joint on points with 3rd, and Wolves finished 7th, and I had them for 8th. So everything's going to be fine. Let's move on quickly.
In 6th place, I've put Manchester United, which, Manx might not be happy about, but for me, I don't see anything so inspiring about the coach. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems like a really nice guy. Great, he's one of the sort of old guard and all that sort of romantic nonsense, but I don't see him just being a top 4 manager or beating other people ahead of him that I've put.
Alright, so Man United 6th. To be honest, no one had any reason to perhaps be inspired by what Solskjaer was doing. Obviously, after Wan-Bissaka, they signed Harry Maguire. They put £130 million into the defence. They probably should have finished 6th, where I predicted them to, if they hadn't bought Bruno Fernandes in the summer, which obviously elevated them up to level on points with Chelsea, it turns out. So, to be honest, my working's pretty sound in that sense. But yeah, United didn't finish 6th. They finished 3rd, and Tottenham finished 6th. Let's move on.
And in 5th place, I have Arsenal Football Club. Sorry, Gooners, but although you have an amazing attack with 2 top-tier strikers, your defence is still bad. I mean, even if you buy a defender, I still can't see it being fixed too much. I'm not even sure what Emery's plan probably malfunctioning properly is.
Good evening. I had Arsenal to finish 5th. Of course, they finished 8th. Unai Emery was sacked. Things went wrong, and Leicester City finished 5th. Let's see what happens next.
4th is a really interesting and cool one for me. I've put Leicester City. That's right, old Brendan Rodgers, I think, could get a Champions League place. Pretty exciting prediction, right? I really do think he's a good coach, actually. He's got a lot of experience and he's used to winning. Certainly, I know he's been in the Scottish Farmers League, but he's just gobbled up wins and trophies there. And you know what? Leicester have a fantastic squad. I'm not going to run through it now, but look through Leicester's squad. It is wicked. And he's going to get the best out of Jamie Vardy for at least another season or 2. And with their brilliant fullbacks and midfield and his attacking style, but able to play pragmatic football when he needs to, I think it's perfect for the Premier League. And I think he could finish 4th, so yeah.
See, I got absolutely slated for this. I put Leicester City in 4th. And to be honest, man, if you watch their campaign in their entirety with Brendan Rodgers, they probably should have done 4th. Let's be real, they probably should have finished 3rd. Sure, they were hamstrung by injuries towards the end. But yeah, I really did back Brendan Rodgers to get in the Champions League spot. And pre-season, people were like, that's ridiculous. I'm so pleased that they did really well, so that my workings actually didn't seem so insane. But yeah, I'm going to give myself some kudos for making such a bold prediction about Brendan Rodgers, Leicester. Jesus. Brendan's Leicester. Oh yeah, but of course Chelsea finished 4th. So there's your happy ending there.
3rd place, I have Tottenham Hotspur. Right, so yeah, from 4th to 3rd, that will be one place better for them. I feel like he'll get a top 4 finish again. Pochettino, I mean, he's a fantastic coach. The feel-good factor will still be there from the Champions League final, as in reaching the final. They got great new stadium. Even if they do lose Eriksen, he's got a lot of miles on the clock. And Dembele, who looks pretty certain to sign, is a fantastic player. Bring through a couple more youth like Poch does, and you know what, although I don't think necessarily they'll win anything next season, I think they could get a strong league finish again and finish in 3rd place this time.
Pochettino's feel-good factor from the Champions League final to see them into 3rd place. Oh, how things change, and the drama and the Amazon documentary and Jose Mourinho, and ultimately 6th place. Wow. Crazy stuff will happen. Obviously, Man United finished in 3rd, level on points with Chelsea. The Bruno Fernandes revolution. Jesus, I've had coffee, I'm tired, I can't talk. Let's move on to 2nd and 1st place.
2nd place, I have Liverpool Football Club. Sorry, Scousers, but for me, they're champions of Europe. They've got an excellent squad. They've got a great manager. All the feel-good factor is there. But for me, last season when they racked up that many points, it had this sort of air of emotional exhaustion, which it didn't have for City. I just can't see them getting over, say, like 95 points again next season, whereas I can see that with Manchester City. So for me, Liverpool are second.
Okay, so I had Liverpool second. I obviously saw how good they were, but I think after the emotional drain of winning the Champions League and getting so close but not quite doing it and being dragged along against City, who I saw was a better team, I thought they wouldn't be able to summon that again, but turns out they did. Of course, they won it at a canter, completely proved me wrong and a lot of people wrong, so congratulations Liverpool, which obviously leaves Manchester City in first place in my prediction. Let's hear what I have to say.
Which leaves me in first place, and yes, you guessed right, Manchester City. For me, as long as Pep Guardiola is still at City and there's not some big thing with like financial fair play, some big story comes out and fucks them up badly or something, as long as they're relatively stable and Guardiola is there, I see him winning the league.
Well, turns out I was wrong there. Obviously they were well off the pace in the end. Maybe it's something to do with the UEFA investigation behind the scenes, who knows. Obviously they had problems with their defence and Laporte being injured for a long time, but they weren't there this season. Liverpool won out of canter, but still obviously those two the wrong way around for me. I don't think I was that far off in terms of the theory, the working of my predictions, but hey, that is it. This is me reacting, and to be honest, man, I got a bunch wrong. I got Palace right. I got Leicester one off, which is not bad, to be honest. I think I did it right, but more importantly, I explained my working. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do comment what you think of the video down below. Remember to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, help me get to 80k subs. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.